Okay, guys, so the growth exam review slides were meant to be a way to summarize things, categorize them, and help you out. So I'm going to have the questions on the left and the answers on the right. Just a reminder for looking on the left, the final exam, this final part of the growth exam, doesn't count for third quarter, doesn't count for fourth quarter. It's a separate grade. Okay. Now, the score, if you hit or surpass your growth, you will get 100% on half of your final exam. If you don't, okay, it happens. I mean, you still want to push yourself to do as well as you can, but hey, sometimes it doesn't happen. Well, you would just take the growth exam a fourth time at the very end of the school year, but growth doesn't matter. It's results, and whatever you get is whatever you get on half the final. Doesn't matter how you've been doing the entire, it really doesn't matter if you haven't done any projects, if you've never taken your time on any assignments. All that it comes down to is take the rest of this time to continue preparing, relax tomorrow, but really take your time reading, use all the techniques you've learned, not just in this class but in others, but study your content tonight and use logic and just do the absolute best that you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the actual review slides, and this is where you can check your answers. Okay, was there anything else? Oh yeah, no extended time, unless you have an IEP or 504 where you know you get extended time, and then in that case talk to the substitute at about the 20-minute marker if you don't feel you're going to get done, and there's extra clarification there. This should be a silent class period. That's a big deal. You know that would be a big deal to me. Make sure you're being respectful to your fellow classmates. If you know you can't be, straight up just say you need to go down to the office, go to ISA and do it. And I don't mean that as a disrespect. Please don't be a problem. I'm asking just respectfully. Most of you are fine. I love the effort. When you get done, you just play around with other stuff with Westward Expansion. So, okay, here we go. Your first one was putting the following events in order. So, what you should have come up with is we had the Mayflower Compact first, because we have the Pilgrims come over and settle. They need a form of self-government because they're out of their charter. Not everybody's religious, so we need to make sure the colony can survive. Then we skip forward to the colonies have been working with the king for a while. We don't like what's going on because he's restricting our rights. We have the Declaration of Independence. We are fighting our war for independence, but remember, the Declaration is not a government. It's ideas for government. So third, we need our first government, the Articles of Confederation. Remember, A comes first, Articles. It was an attempt at self-government, an attempted organization of these states. It wasn't great. We created it while we were fighting a revolutionary war, so we knew there were going to be flaws. Because of that, we had to make compromises that would create the two parts of Congress and the three branches of government, a more federal system, which at great compromise leads to the Constitution, which we know is a stronger federal government, three branches of government, but that could abuse power, so we're going to add the Bill of Rights, which in theory protects against the government becoming anything like a king. So hopefully this is helping. I know some of you are like, I just want the answers. Just roll with it. I'll try to move quick on most of them. Number two, put the following events in order. So here we go again. First one would be the French Indian War. This is all the stuff leading up to the American Revolution. France and Britain fight over the Ohio River Valley for trade. It puts Britain in debt. So number two, they have to tax the colonies. We're upset with that because the colonists are not represented in England, in Parliament. We've always been having representatives in our colonial legislatures and our town meetings, and they've been paying taxes. Nobody likes to pay taxes, but we understand it's needed on a lot of things. Okay, we need to keep the roads good. But when you're not represented, even if the representatives don't do what you want, you still want to have that representation. So it became common sense that we should declare independence, and then obviously that's the American Revolution. So hopefully that helps. Okay, we're going to move a little bit quicker now. 3, Puritans, Quakers, Mormons, we haven't covered yet. You're going to do that later this week. What do they have in common? Religious freedom. These are all groups that try to have their own religious freedom or escape persecution, being attacked for their religious beliefs. Number 4, what do the following have in common? British debt, Stamp Act, Proclamation Line, causes of the no taxation without representation, American Revolution. Now, whatever you put as your categories, as long as it's close, you're fine. The whole point is to review. If it's not exactly the title that I have on some of these, who cares? But the idea is to do the review, get things back in your head. Hopefully the categorization is working. Number 5, what do the following items have in common? Africans, American Indians, and European immigrants. They were discriminated against, whether it be Africans being straight up taken, kidnapped from their lives and forced into slavery, American Indians having their land taken from them at every step, and European immigrants being abused because they weren't American. Okay, all these groups have been discriminated against in American history. 6, what do the following items have in common? All men are created equal. Citizens can alter or abolish the government. All people have natural rights. Self-government. There's your Declaration of Independence. All of your ideas of how government should be. 7, what do the following items have in common? Popular sovereignty, limited government, social contract. Those are Enlightenment ideas that influence the Declaration of Independence. Popular sovereignty, that the people reign or have the power and have a voice voting. Limited government, that we should put things in place to make sure that we have no king, and a social contract that, hey man, the people get rights, but we give up some of our rights to have a government function. And if that government doesn't do its job and it takes away our rights, well, we have the right to complain and change, alter, or abolish. 8, hopefully I'm moving quick enough. I'm trying not to make this too horribly long today. 8, what do the following items have in common? King George III, Andrew Jackson, Southern planters. These are the villains. They abused power, whether it be King George III against the colonists, Andrew Jackson against American Indians, the National Bank, or Southern planters with African Americans. 9, what do the following events have in common? Remove French threat, double-sized nation, control of New Orleans. Usually this is one of the easier ones. That's Louisiana. So hopefully that helps. We're almost done here, guys. 10, what do the following items have in common? Boycotts, petitions, Boston Tea Party. These are your protest actions, whether it be boycotts, not buying goods of Britain, trying to hurt them financially, petitions, those written requests for a change, or the violent actions, illegal actions like the Boston Tea Party. These were all forms of protest. So 11, what do the following items have in common? Sons of Liberty, abolitionists, anti-federalists. Hopefully something about fighting for equal rights, organizing people for something better, whether that be the Sons of Liberty against Britain, abolitionists and slavery, anti-federalists, just organizing to have our rights protected, not have the Constitution be too strong. Okay, 2 left by my counts. 12, what do the following items have in common? Federalism, checks and balances, representative democracy. These are ideas in your Constitution. Federalism, where we delegated, this is where I moved the flags on the board, the powers from the states under the Articles of Confederation to the federal or national central government. Checks and balances, where the legislative, executive, and judicial can kind of check each other. And then representative democracy is your Congress, where you vote on senators and representatives. The final review item. What do the following items have in common? Religion, petition, speech, assembly, and press. There's your First Amendment, everybody. So I hope that this helped. It's not a super long video. The idea is you got the final tomorrow. If you're still struggling on vocabulary, use the Quizlet. If you feel like you're getting things mixed up order-wise, use the outline. Hopefully this helped with some categorization. In the end, you're still going to maybe have a couple tomorrow that you just blank on. So use the process of elimination, get rid of the answers you know are wrong, and take your time. You're going to be reminded when there's 30, 20, 10. It doesn't matter whether I am there or not. You have prepared well. I have seen the work that you have been doing. The people who are trying are doing great work. And once again, I could care less whether you've come in this classroom every single day and not tried at all. Doesn't matter. Come in tomorrow, having prepared well as best as you can, and represent yourself in a way that would make yourself feel proud. That's all that matters. If the score doesn't match up, okay, it happens. We want you to hit it, okay? But if you've done your best, if you truly prepped and you truly take your time, how can you look at yourself in the mirror and be upset? How can I be upset with things? I can't be. So I wish you the best of luck, even though you don't need it if you prepare properly. Take your time, and if there is any time left in class, review, help each other, go back over concepts, draw pictures that will help you out. There's also going to be some things posted. There's some test taking and night before hints and a visual in the posting as well. Bye guys.